We are going to begin our first lecture, which is on the psychology of research writing, which is on the psychology of research writing. So I hope that this training will be of useful to you. Okay, so let's begin right away. So when we say psychology of research writing, we are talking about how to program your mind in order to be able to write your research and be able to publish it. All right, because most people, especially teachers and students, think that research writing and publication is difficult. And then the moment you have that kind of mindset, it will be difficult for you to progress. Okay, so we are going to look at what the psychology of research publication is all about. Okay, so let's continue. So, how many of you feel that it's really hard to publish a paper? Okay, so I think most people think it's really hard to publish a paper. Okay, so section one, three things you need to master, three things you have to master. Okay, number one is belief. Number one is belief. So you will need to really believe that you can do it, okay? You can publish your paper. If you are not going to believe, then nothing is going to drive you to take the action to get your paper published. So according to Tony Robbins, in almost everything, 20% of all success is due to psychology, which is the beliefs, the mindset, the emotions. And only 20% is due to mechanics. That is the strategy you need in order to achieve the result you are looking for. So if you want to publish a paper, 80% of your success depends on your mind. And then 20% depends on what you do. So you should be able to program your mind, think properly, okay? So with the right vision, with the right passion and mindset, your chances of success in publishing your research are exponentially great, okay? So you need the right vision, you need the right passion, you need the right mindset. So these three things are going to help you to take the action to be able to publish your paper. Okay, so the question is, do you believe you can publish your paper? Do you believe? Yeah, I know some of you, your beliefs, you are saying, I don't think so. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can publish your paper? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can publish your paper? Okay, so your confidence level at least should be around 5 to be able to publish your paper. You need to believe at least 50% that you can do it. Okay, the next question is, what need to happen for you to have a confidence level of 10? What needs to happen to have a confidence level of 10? What needs to happen? All right, I know some of you are saying, well, I need an expert to help me. Well, I need some training to learn more. I need some materials. I need knowledge and so on and so forth. So whatever you need in order to be able to publish your paper is what the training is all about. So at the end of the day, I'm going to equip you with everything you need to raise your confidence level to 10 so that you'll be able to publish your paper. Okay, number four, what possible hindrances do you need to overcome in order to publish your paper? What possible hindrances? Okay, so you need to know the hindrances in order to be able to overcome them. Okay, so if you are not sure what your problem is, then there is no way you will find a solution to the problem. If you know that, well, look, time management is my hindrance, then you know how to do a daily planning in order to be able to have enough time to publish your paper. Okay, so you need to write down the particular problems, the particular hindrances that are preventing you from writing and publishing your paper. All right, let's continue. We are going to continue with limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. I'm sure that some of you are familiar with limiting beliefs. So, in your attempt to publish your paper, there are limiting beliefs you really need to overcome. Okay, so let's look at some of them. Number one, okay, is uh, let's try to first define what limiting beliefs are. So they are wrong beliefs that people have about something. Wrong belief, not the right belief. Wrong belief that people have about something. Okay. So usually these beliefs prevent them from taking action that they need to, that will help them to succeed in a particular area. So usually limiting beliefs, they are beliefs that prevent people from taking action. So to put it in context, any kind of belief that prevents you from taking the action in your research and publication process becomes a limiting belief. So what do you need to do? You need to cut it off, okay? You have to cut it off. It's also the wrong mindset about something because of experiences in the past. So presently, I don't know your mindset about doing publication, but it could be that you have never done it before, and because you've not done it, you think you cannot do it. Okay, or maybe you tried, you submitted one paper to a journal and it was rejected. And because of that past experience, you are thinking you cannot do it. Or maybe you have no knowledge at all about writing publication. And then because of that, you are thinking you cannot do it. So when we say limiting belief, we are talking about wrong mindset, wrong beliefs because of past experiences. Okay, so whatever it is, you need to overcome that belief in order to be able to write and publish your paper. Very important. So we are going to look at some of the limiting beliefs. Number one is research publication is difficult. Now, some people think research publication is difficult, and because of that, they don't even bother to take any kind of action. They don't bother to take any kind of action, or they don't make any attempt at all. To publish their paper. Number two, I don't know where and how to begin. Okay, some people say, I don't know how. I don't know where to begin. And because of that, they don't even try at all. And number three, I'm not an expert in research and publication. I'm not an expert. Some say they are not expert, and because of that, they don't even try. But the truth here is that you don't need to be an expert, okay, to do research. Okay, you don't need to be an expert. You just need to know how to collaborate, okay, with people who are expert. And then if you can collaborate, then you can get a research publication done. So number four, research publication is stressful. Some people say, oh, it's stressful. And that's funny. Honestly, anything can be stressful. Even eating can be stressful. Okay, if you are eating in the wrong way, it can be stressful. So it's all about knowing what to do. If you know what to do, anything can be fun. If you know what to do, anything can be fun. So you don't have to stress yourself if you know how to delegate. So you do what you can do best, and then you delegate the rest. It's simple as that. Number five, I don't need publication. Okay, some people say, look, I don't need it. But this is the truth. Everyone who is working in an educational institution needs publication. As a matter of fact, it's going to reach a point in academia where you, if you don't have publication or if you don't know how to do research, you might not even be allowed to teach in the elementary school. Okay, so for now, in some universities and high schools, if they are going to hire you, they are going to look at your background in doing research and publication. Okay, so don't think you don't need it, because later, soon you are going to need it. So the earlier you begin to equip yourself with all the knowledge and take the action, the better. So you are going to need publication, because every research you do, it's useless if you are going to make your research just sit in the library and you are not going to share the results out there. Okay? And sometimes it's so fun. I mean, if you write your name, type your name in Google, and I mean, your research publication pops up instead of just Facebook. So you are going to need research publication. Number six, okay, some teachers and lecturers, they say that research is a hell. I mean, students even say this. It's hell. I mean, anything can be hell. Anything, not just research. Anything can be hell. So it's all about the right mindset. The right mindset. Okay, you need the right mindset to get going. So number seven, I don't have money to publish my paper. I don't have money to publish my paper. Honestly, you don't need money to publish a paper. You don't need money to publish a paper. Okay, what you need is time to publish a paper, because there are so many free journals. So if you know how to prepare your paper for the journal, then there's a possibility that you can publish your paper without even paying anything. However, if you don't know how to prepare the paper, then you can pay somebody with just a small amount, and the person will get your paper prepared for you. After that, you can submit to a free journal in Scopus or in ISI, and the paper will be published. So you don't need huge amount of money to get your paper published, as a matter of fact. Okay, so you just need a small amount of money only. By eight, I don't know whom to talk to about my publication. Okay, if you don't know who to talk to, that is why we are beginning this series of training. Okay, as a matter of fact, we have been doing this for 7 years already, and then we have helped over 200 people publish their paper. So we have the track record, the footprints are all over the internet, which could be accessed easily. All right, so you can talk to us, and then we can give you any advice for free. You don't have to pay. As a matter of fact, as many of you who are taking this training, you have access to ask any question, and then it's all free. Any question about doing your research and so on and so forth, we are going to answer them for free. So you can talk to us if you don't know who to talk to, whom to talk to. Number nine, I'm not ready for research publication yet. Okay, some people say they are not ready. Honestly, you have to be ready, because this is the right time. There is no better time to do publication than now. Okay, the best time was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. Okay, so get it right that doing research is something that you doing research publication is something that you need to do, because you are working in the field of education, and you have to share your experiences, your research, your findings with the world. Number 10, I don't have time. I'm too busy. So some people say that they don't have time. They are too busy. All right. Now the truth here is this. There is time for everything. everything under the sun. There is time for everything. It's all about setting priorities and managing your time well. So if you will set priorities and manage your time well, then you can have time for everything. So don't say you are too busy because even the most busiest people, they still do publication. So as you can see the image here, there we have the wall of limiting beliefs. Okay, some people like the blue arrows, when they get to the limiting belief, they are not able to go over. For that matter, they don't even write and publish the paper. But through this training, we want you to go over the wall of limiting belief. Okay, we want you to go over the wall of limiting belief and be able to publish your paper. Okay, so attitude, which is number two. Okay, so the attitude you bring to work will determine whether you succeed or not. The attitude you bring to work determine whether you will succeed or not. So you will need to have specific attitude. Okay, the king of them all is self-discipline. If you want to publish a paper, the key trait, the key attitude you really need to master is to discipline yourself. Okay, all right. Now, the next attitude is courage and adaptability. Okay, so you need courage because if you don't have courage, nothing will really let you publish your paper. For example, if you are not really courageous about your findings, you will not be able to publish. Let's say that when you were doing the research, you did not really engage the research ethics. So you did a lot of uh, things which were not accepted. Your findings are not genuine. If your findings are not genuine, it means that you will not have the courage to defend your findings or even publish your findings. So to be able to have courage, it means that when you're doing research, make sure that you do the right thing. So after you are done, you can be proud of what you have done. Okay, if you are not proud of your findings, then you can't be courageous to publish it. Okay. So are you courageous to publish your findings? That is the question. Are you courageous? Okay, the next is how adaptable are you? Okay, are you adaptable? Adaptability is very important in the sense that in the process of doing research and publication, it's involved many people with so many kind of temperament, and you have to be adaptable to all of them. You have to be adaptable. Learn to work with people with different attitude. You are going to submit your paper. If your paper is rejected or the reviewer will give some comment, I mean, what's going to be your attitude towards them? Are you going to be angry? Are you going to feel sad or whatever? So understand that different people are involved, or it's an issue of collaboration and teamwork, and that your adaptability will determine whether you'll be able to publish your paper. So what do you need to do to improve your adaptability? Maybe it's difficult for you to cope with people. If you are that kind of person, it will be difficult to publish a paper because you are not going to be the only person to do everything right from scratch to finish it. Okay. Sometime after you have finished writing your paper, you want your colleague to check for you, and then your colleague attitude or the comment he gave, it's very offensive. All right. Are you going to get angry? Are you going to be pissed off? Or you will just take it, like, you will take the feedback and then work on your project to publish. Okay. So you need curiosity. Okay. So researchers are curious most of the time. Okay. This has to do with your willingness to go the extra mile to till you get your paper published. Okay. So you need to be curious. Okay, let's assume that you have finished with the project already. So you've never published a paper before. So the curiosity is going to make you think like, look, I want to find out what publication is all about. Okay, I want to find out, I want to publish, I want to know what's in there. That is the curiosity I'm talking about. So you need that kind of curiosity. If you really want to publish your paper, then you are going to need some curiosity. Number four, okay, question number four. How curious are you? Okay, will you go the extra mile to reach your goal or to publish your paper? Are you going to go the extra mile to get your paper published? Okay, this is very, very important. The next attitude is risk and action. Okay, so let's get this. Achievers are action and risk takers. Achievers are action risk takers. Okay, so the question is, are you an action taker or you are a procrastinator? Okay, so you have to be an action taker. Very important. Okay, so are you willing to spend time, money, resources to publish your paper? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to put all this in, to publish your paper? Because if you want to publish your paper, you have to get this clear. You are going to spend time, a lot of time, and money and resources. Okay, so get the paper published. So right from day one, you really need to put this in your mind. Have to put this in your mind that these are the three things, and it involves risk. For example, if you are going to pay somebody to prepare your paper, it's a risk you are going to take. I mean, it's a risk. Understand this. Whichever journal you send your paper to, it's a risk. Understand? You don't know what they are going to do with your paper, and it's a risk. You just trust them that they are going to do it. Okay, because in the past people have sent paper to me, and then before they send the paper, they were so much concerned. What are you going to do with my paper? Are you not going to give it to somebody? I mean, these are kind of questions that people begin to ask me. But I always have to let them understand that, look, if you want to do a research publication, there's a risk involved. Okay, so if you're not going to take the risk, then forget. I mean, because everywhere you need to risk, you need to trust in order to get the paper published. Okay, it also involves teamwork and collaboration. So you need to master this attitude. Okay, so your ability to work in teams will highly determine how fast you can publish your paper. Let's assume that you have co-authors. Okay, maybe you are three or two involved in the paper publication. That means that you have to learn how to delegate, how to divide tasks. Okay, maybe one person will write the introduction, the other person will draft the methodology, one person will do the discussion, and so on and so forth. So you have to be able to work in team. It's very important. You have to learn how to do this. Okay, the question is, how well can you collaborate with others? Okay, give yourself a score. Usually, there are some kind of people, any kind of team they work with, they fight with the people. Okay, if you are that kind of person, then maybe it's going to be difficult to publish your paper. Okay, so from my past experience, some people they will submit their paper to me, and then uh, maybe there's a little delay, and then they are so angry. I mean, they want to kill me. I mean, you don't have to be like that. If you don't know how to collaborate, if you don't know how to work in team, then nobody will want to work with you. So at the end of the day, I said to myself, no, I'm not going to work with this person anymore. Okay, so if that person will send a message to me, I don't even bother to answer. I will not answer because these people, they are not the kind of people who know how to work in team or collaborate because they are not patient with people. Okay, number nine, what needs to happen for you to be able to collaborate more? So what do you think you need to do? Maybe you need more patience, okay? You need more understanding. You need to control, you need some self-control, okay? So it's very important that you need to understand it. If you really want to publish a paper, then learn to work in team. Learn to work in team. Learn to work in team. Okay, so the next thing is focus. Okay, so you really need to focus. You really need to focus. Okay, so if there's one key trait of a successful researcher, it is the ability to focus all attention over a period of time. Okay, so you need to be able to learn how to stop everything, focus for a period of time, get a paper done until you go back to the usual routine again. Okay, so it's very necessary. According to the founder of Domain Pizza, okay, the secret of his success is fanatical focus, that is doing one thing well. Okay, so what does it tell us? So it tells us that to be able to do the paper, to be able to get it published, it means that the moment you set that goal, then you have to put all things aside and then concentrate, get it done before you pick up other tasks. So if you're the type of person who picks up a task, do it partly, put it aside, pick up another task, do it partly and put it aside, then you are not going to be able to finish a paper. Because usually, typically, if I'm writing a paper, it takes me like a week. If I want to write a paper, it takes me like a week. Okay, if I'm doing an actual research, then like 2 months. Okay, so it means that I need to focus all my attention on this particular project and get it done. Okay, and then when it's done, then I can go back to my usual routine again. Okay, so questions to get you focused. Okay, are you the type of person who stays focused and gets task uh, accomplished? Are you that type of person, or usually it's difficult for you to get focused? Okay, so what needs to happen to help you get more focused to publish your paper? What do you think you need to do? Okay, I want you to answer this question. What do you think you need to do in order to be able to focus? Maybe you need to learn how to manage your time well. I mean, 8 out of 10 will say that, well, I need to really learn how to manage my time well. Okay, if you're that type of person, then this presentation is going to help you. Okay, later I'll be giving you some time management tools which you can use, okay, to help you get focused. Okay, section 2, let's talk about the ultimate research writing formula. The ultimate research writing formula. Now, the first thing is know your outcome. Know your outcome. Outcome here is at the end of the day, where do you want your paper to be published? Okay, where do you want your paper to publish, or what do you want to accomplish with your publication at the end of the day? What do you want to accomplish? Okay, do you want your paper to be published in ISI? Do you want your paper to be published in Scopus? Is it in a edited journal or what? Okay, so you need to have this outcome clear and visible to you. Okay, so let's try to answer some questions so that we can well define our outcome. The first question is, what database, what journal do you want to publish your paper in? Okay, uh, what journal? So before you start preparing the paper, the research paper, you need to have the journal in mind because the journal guidelines are going to guide you in the preparation. So it means that if you don't know which journal you want to submit your paper to, and you just begin to prepare your paper, then you might do it wrong because every journal has its own style. Understand this. Number two, what is your research about? Okay, what field is it related? Okay, sometimes it's funny, but it is true. There's some people, if you ask them, what is your research about? They are not sure. No, they are not sure. Okay, so you have to be convinced. Okay. Number three, what specific sub-discipline is your research related? Okay, let's assume that your research, the answer to the question number two, your research is in education. That is the big field, education. Okay, what is the sub-discipline? Maybe in educational psychology, or in pedagogy, or andragogy, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what is it? What is your research about? And then, what sub-discipline is it? Number four, when do you want your paper to be published? When do you want your paper to be published? Do you want to be published in 2 months, in 3 months, in 4 months, and so on and so forth? Okay, you have to know this because every journal has its own length or a period of peer review. Some peer review takes like 2 months, some 3 months, some 4 months, some even up to 6 months. Okay, so if you cross check with the journal, you will get to know the peer review period. Usually, if I want to submit a paper to a journal, the first thing I check, okay, where the journal is indexed. After that, I will check the period for review because I don't want to be sitting waiting for 6 months before my paper is published. So usually I go for journals with a peer review process of 2 to 3 months, like that. Okay, so you have to know when you want your paper to publish because it will guide you in selecting the journal. Number five, what resources do you have to get your paper published? Okay, how much time do you have? Okay, how much money do you have? What other resources are available to you? Do you know any expert that you can talk to in case you have problems and so on and so forth? Okay, so this should be, you should know the resource you have at your hand. For example, if you submitted your paper and then the journal said, look, we have accepted your paper, but you have to pay for the publication fee, which is $100. Okay, do you have the money to pay? Okay, if you don't have the money, how can you get the money? Okay, so you have to put all these things in place. It's part of knowing your outcome. And then number two, you need to believe, like I said before, this is a reiteration. So believe you can publish the paper. You need to believe it. Okay. So believe you can publish. Do you believe you can publish your paper within a set time? Do you believe you can publish your paper within a set time? Okay. The next question is why must you publish your paper? Okay, this is a question which when you answer, it's like the driving force, the why your paper must be published. Okay, the magic word here is must. Okay, maybe if your paper is not published, you will not get your promotion or you will not get your incentives or your school will not have the accreditation. Okay, so on the other hand, maybe you are looking at the rewards only. So uh, maybe if you publish your paper, you are going to receive like 10,000 pesos, or you are going to receive like 20,000 pesos, and so on and so forth. I remember when I was working with a research institute in Thailand. Usually, when the researchers will bring their paper to me, I ask them, why do you think you have to publish your paper? Okay, and they talk, oh, well, I want to contribute to academia. Okay, good, that's good. And also, when I get my paper published, the university is going to reward me. Okay, so many times I see some of them come to the office and they receive their financial benefit. In Thailand, in most university, if somebody will publish his paper in Scopus, they receive around 30,000 baht. 30,000 baht is around 45,000 pesos. Okay, and this is a good encouragement for them to publish their paper because they know after all the stress, they are going to get something out of it. So this should be a driving force. The why should push you. Okay, all right. Maybe it's not financial gain, but promotion. Okay, so think about if you are promoted, what are you going to get? Okay, it means that your salary is going to go higher. It means that you are going to be respected more, the more, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this should be the encouragement for you to publish your paper. Number three, what reward will you receive after the publication? And then what are the consequences if your paper is not published? If you don't publish your research, what is the consequences? Maybe you are not going to be promoted, your school will not pass the accreditation, and so on and so forth. So you have to think about all of these things, okay? And this should be the driving force or the push for you to be able to take the action, okay, to publish your paper. So step number three, you need to have an action plan, an action plan. So what we are saying here is the action plan is a step-by-step guide you will follow to prepare your paper and get it published. Okay, so with an action plan, you will know exactly what you need to do. So with an action plan, every single day you know what to do. Every single week you know what to do. Okay, so the action plan is going to guide you with the task that has to be done, who need to do the task, when it has to be finished, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you have to prepare an action plan. And then I have this example here. Okay, so over here we have the task. Okay, so these are not all the tasks, there's some of the tasks. So journal format preparation, we have the grammar editing, we have content editing, we have paper formatting, reviewers comment, and so on and so forth. There are a whole lot of tasks. This is just few of them. Right here we have the action steps. What specifically is there? So how will the task be done? How will it be done? You have to write the answer here. Okay, so the paper format, the journal format preparation. Okay, how will the task be done? You write the action here, the action, the specific thing here. Okay, and then the completion date, by when does it need to be done? Okay, you write it here. And next it what, okay, no, task assigned to. So we have who is the task assigned to, and then potential barriers, and then progress remarks. So for potential barriers, the question is, what could hinder the success? And then here we have how far was the task, or is the task completed? How far is the task completed? So you fill in this particular action plan and you stick it to your wall, or you put it by your table in your office. Okay, so you have all the deadlines there. So every day you know what need to be done, whom you need to contact, who has to do this, and so on and so forth. So you can use something like this. Okay, if you decide to prepare a journal paper, make an action plan, because the action plan is going to guide you. If you have no action plan, then nothing is going to happen. As a matter of fact, anything which is not scheduled never gets done. Anything which is not planned is not well done. Okay, so before you can accomplish something well, you need to plan it. Plan it. Okay, if you are not going to plan it, then it's not going to be done. Step 4, take massive action. Okay, now the issue is like this. If you don't take action, then nothing is going to happen. If you don't take action, let's assume that You have made an action plan. If you are not going to take action, then nothing is going to happen. You are not going to get any results. So this is where habits come in, okay? Because habits control action. So habits come in. Okay, so one, you make a plan, commit to follow through. Commit to follow through. So I'm going to give you a daily planner, an example of a daily planner. Because if it's not a habit, then it's not going to be done. Okay, so it's like this one here. I will show you later. Your ability to overcome obstacles will bring you to published or rejected. Let's assume that you take all the action. Okay, the fact that you are taking action doesn't mean you are not going to encounter any kind of obstacle. Obstacles are going to come. I mean, they are going to come. Okay, so if you are not able to overcome the obstacles, then okay, your paper will not be published. But if you are able to overcome any kind of obstacles in the publication process, you don't give up, okay, then you are going to surely publish the paper. So how you use your time, especially during this period, is very important. Okay, how you use your time. So it means that you have to block time in every week, block time, 1 to 2 hours every week. Okay, that time should be set aside for working on your paper. Okay, so there will be the need to reevaluate your daily routines. Okay, you have to reevaluate your daily routine. If you give yourself 2 months to get your paper published, okay, you have to uh, reevaluate your daily routine within that particular 2 months. You have to reevaluate your daily routines. Okay, so how disciplined are you when it comes to time management? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. Okay, so if you are not really disciplined, if you are not really disciplined when it comes to time management, then you are going to have a big problem when it comes to research publication. Yeah, you are going to have a big problem. I remember in Thailand, one of my colleagues, whom I helped her to publish 3 papers uh, in Scopus. And then she asked me, uh, because usually I tell her, okay, I'm going to do this. And after 1 week, it's done. Then she's asking, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because for me, it's so difficult to concentrate on one thing like that. So I told her, look, if I say I want to do this, I stop doing every other thing. And then I just concentrate on it and get it done. That is it. So you have to discipline yourself. So the question is, what changes? What changes? Okay. What changes do you need to make so as to take more action to publish your paper? So check your daily routines. Maybe there are things you need to cross out. Okay, maybe you spend too much time on Facebook, or you spend too much on watching movie series, or you spend too much time on doing some other things, on sports and so on and so forth. Okay, so if that is the case, then you have to know the changes you have to make, especially in periods when you have to publish your paper. Okay, get this very clearly. So this is an example of a daily planner. Okay, so over here, what you are going to do is this. We have the time and then we have the days. So maybe twice a week, you want to schedule time to work on your paper. Twice a week, you want to schedule time to work on your paper. So let's assume on Monday at 11 to 12 o'clock, you are going to write your journal paper. So every Monday, you spend 2 hours. One at 11 to 12. Okay, that's 1 hour. So 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you are spending 1 hour, okay, to write your paper. So you have this planner in your office, or you have the planner in your room, and then you know that Monday from 11 to 12, this is what you have to do. So if your co-teacher will come and say, hey, let's go here, let's go there, you tell him, no, I'm sorry, this time I need to write my research paper. I cannot go with you. Okay, so you can block another time, maybe on Thursday, on Friday, maybe from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, you schedule this time. So on Monday, on Thursday, you know that, look, from this time to this time, this is what I need to do. So every week, you have scheduled like 2 hours every week to write a paper. If you do this consistently, okay, within 6 weeks, you can have a research paper. It's simple as that. Within 6 weeks, it means that you have invested around 14 hours writing, and 14 hours should be able to give you a research paper, or call it 16 hours or maybe 18 hours. You should be able to produce a research paper. So you will need a planner like this and write, make a schedule what particular hour within the day, within the week, what you are going to devote to writing your paper. Okay, so if you can do this, I'm sure that you'll produce a lot of research. All right, so you have not been able to produce research because you never schedule research writing on your busy routine. Understand this. If you are going to schedule it, it's going to be done. Okay, it's not been done simply because you never schedule it. You never schedule it. Okay, so step 5, interpret feedback. So if you do everything I have told you, okay, then it's going to be like this. Okay, your paper will either be accepted or your paper will be rejected. So if your paper was rejected or is rejected, you are thinking what went wrong. I mean, you are thinking, uh, I did everything he said, but my paper is rejected. Okay, so at this moment, this is where most researchers quit and they don't put to revise their paper for publication. Okay, so get this very clearly. Now your behavior will be to quit, revise your paper, or send to another journal. Okay, so if you have a positive attitude, you can learn something from the reviewer's comment and then revise your paper. Okay, so assuming you submit your paper, you've done everything, the paper is rejected. If your paper is rejected, don't be traumatized. Okay, it's part of publication. It simply means that revise your paper and submit again. Okay, so don't really bother about uh, the rejection. The most important thing is the attitude to conquer, the attitude to do it, the attitude to achieve. Okay, so you just have to revise it. Don't quit. Revise your work and resubmit. Okay, so you could also now you need to get an expert uh, advice or hire an expert to guide you. Okay, so you can get an expert, or you can let your colleagues give you some feedback. Okay, revise your paper and then get it submitted again. Okay, so the key here is you must control your emotion to control your behavior. So turn your rejection into feedback. Okay, so if the paper is rejected or if the paper is not published, okay, you have to control your emotion. Don't feel like, well, I'm not going to submit my paper anymore. No, you call it the rejection, call it a feedback. Don't say my paper has been rejected. Say my paper has been given a feedback, have a feedback. Okay, so you are going to revise your paper and then you are going to get it submitted again. Okay, so this is the sources, the bibliography. Okay, so that is that. So that brings us to the end of our first presentation. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can just send me a message through my email or through my Facebook, and then I will answer you. All right. God bless. God bless. God bless.